A sunny Saturday mistake, Lily. Harper stood in her bedroom on a bright Saturday afternoon in May, adjusting her coral bikini in front of the mirror. The Texas sun poured through her apartment windows in downtown Austin, creating perfect lighting for the photo she wanted to send to Mia, her best friend since college. She had just returned from a quick weekend trip to South Padre Island and wanted to show off the new swimsuit she had bought. Her apartment smelled like vanilla candles and fresh laundry. Lily had spent the morning cleaning and organizing, trying to shake off the stress from a hectic work week. She worked as a marketing coordinator at TechWave Solutions, a growing startup that created software for small businesses. The job was demanding but exciting, especially since Jackson Reed had joined as creative director 3 months ago. Lily positioned her phone carefully, finding an angle that showed the swimsuit without being too revealing. She smiled naturally, her blonde hair falling in beach waves over her shoulders. The coral color complemented her sun-kissed skin perfectly. After taking several shots, she selected the best one and opened her messaging app. The moment everything changed, her fingers moved quickly across the screen. She had messaged Mia hundreds of times and thought she knew the routine by heart. She typed a quick message asking what Mia thought about the swimsuit for their upcoming girls' trip to Cancun. Without double-checking, she hit send and tossed her phone onto her bed. Lily changed into comfortable clothes and headed to the kitchen to make lunch. She was mixing a salad when her phone buzzed. Expecting Mia's usual enthusiastic response filled with heart emojis, she grabbed her phone and froze. The message was from Jackson Reed. Her boss, her stomach dropped as she read his words. Lily, I believe this message was intended for someone else. Please be more careful with your communications in the future. Have a great weekend. No, this could not be happening. Her hands shook as she checked the conversation thread. There it was, clear as day. The photo she had meant for Mia had gone directly to Jackson. Her mind raced back over the past few seconds. How had she made such a terrible mistake? Then she realized Jackson's name appeared right above. Mia's in her recent contacts because they had exchanged work messages the night before about a Monday morning presentation. Lily sank onto her couch, her face burning with embarrassment. Of all the people in the world, why did it have to be Jackson Reed? The man was impossibly professional, incredibly talented, and unfortunately very attractive. He had joined TechWave from a major advertising firm in New York, and everyone at the office was slightly intimidated by his polish and expertise. Getting to know Jackson Reed in the 3 months since Jackson had started, Lily had barely spoken to him beyond basic work discussions. He was the kind of person who commanded attention when he entered a room. Tall, with dark brown hair and striking hazel eyes, he carried himself with quiet confidence. He dressed impeccably, always in perfectly fitted suits or smart casual combinations that looked effortlessly put together. But what struck Lily most about Jackson was his focus. He approached every project with intense concentration, often staying late at the office to perfect campaign details. He was fair with his team, offering constructive feedback without being harsh. Yet he maintained a professional distance that made him seem somewhat untouchable. Lily had admired his work from afar, studying how he crafted compelling brand stories and visual narratives. She had learned more about marketing in 3 months working near him than she had in the previous year, but they had never had a personal conversation, never shared stories about their lives outside work, and now he had seen her in a bikini, crafting a response. Lee stared at her phone for 10 full minutes, trying to figure out how to respond. Should she apologize profusely? Make a joke about it? Pretend it never happened? Every option seemed equally terrible. Finally, she typed out a message. Mr. Reed, I am so incredibly sorry. That photo was meant for my friend, and I accidentally selected the wrong contact. This is mortifying, and I apologize for the unprofessional mistake. It will never happen again. She hit send before she could overthink it further. His response came almost immediately. No need to apologize. Lily, these things happen in our digital age. Please don't worry about it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. The kindness in his response only made her feel worse. She spent the rest of Saturday replaying the incident in her mind, alternating between cringing and trying to convince herself it was not as bad as it seemed. By Sunday evening, her anxiety about facing Jackson on Monday had reached peak levels. Monday morning arrives when Lily arrived at the office Monday morning. Her heart was pounding. She had chosen her most professional outfit, a navy blazer and cream blouse. As if conservative clothing could somehow erase what had happened. The TechWave office occupied the 10th floor of a modern building with glass walls and an open floor plan. Normally, Lily loved the creative energy of the space. But today it felt exposing. She settled at her desk, turned on her computer, and tried to focus on preparing for the morning meeting. Around her, coworkers chatted about their weekends, laughing and sharing stories. Lily kept her head down, hoping to avoid attention. Then she heard his voice. "Good morning, Lily." She looked up to find Jackson standing beside her desk. He looked as composed as ever in a charcoal suit, his expression neutral and professional. But there was something different in his eyes, a warmth she had not noticed before. "Good morning, Mr. Reed," she managed to say, her voice steadier than she felt. "I need you to review these campaign drafts before our 10 o'clock meeting," he said, placing a folder on her desk. His fingers briefly touched hers as she reached for it, and Lily felt an unexpected jolt of electricity. Their eyes met, and for a moment, something unspoken passed between them. "An unexpected compliment, Lily," he said, his voice lower. "About the weekend." Her face immediately flushed. "Please, can we just forget it happened?" A small smile played at the corner of his mouth. "I was just going to say that you have excellent taste. Coral is definitely your color." Before she could respond, he walked away, leaving Lily speechless at her desk. Had Jackson Reed just complimented her? Not the photo itself, but her. The comment was subtle enough to maintain professionalism, yet personal enough to make her pulse race. As the morning progressed, Lily found herself acutely aware of Jackson's presence. She caught him glancing in her direction several times during the team meeting. When their eyes met, he did not look away immediately, as he might have before. Instead, he held her gaze for a few seconds. A slight smile on his face. Shifting dynamics during lunch, Lily sat with her work friend Rachel in the building's cafeteria. Rachel was a graphic designer with bright red hair and an infectious laugh. "Okay, what is going on with you today?" Rachel asked, studying Lily over her sandwich. "You seem distracted." "Nothing," Lily said quickly. "Just tired from the weekend, really? Because I noticed Jackson looking at you differently today." "Did something happen?" Lily nearly choked on her water. "What do you mean differently?" Rachel leaned in conspiratorially. "I mean, the man has been the picture of professional detachment since he started here. But today, he has looked at you at least 5 times, and I caught him smiling when you were presenting your ideas in the meeting. That is not normal Jackson Reed behavior." Lily felt her cheeks warm. Could other people see it too? Whatever had shifted between them? "You are imagining things," Lily said, but even as she spoke, she wondered if Rachel might be right. That afternoon, Jackson called Lily into his office to discuss a new campaign for one of their major clients. His office had floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking downtown Austin, with a minimalist desk and shelves lined with advertising awards and design books. "Close the door." "Please," he said as she entered. Lily's heart skipped as she obeyed, suddenly very aware they were alone in the enclosed space. "I want to talk about the Henderson account," Jackson said, gesturing for her to sit. "But first, I need to address something." Here it comes, Lily thought. He is going to tell me that what happened was inappropriate, that we need to maintain boundaries instead. Jackson surprised her. "I have been thinking about what happened this weekend," he said, his hazel eyes fixed on hers, "and I realized something. In 3 months of working together, I have kept such strict professional boundaries that I do not actually know anything about you beyond your excellent work ethic and creative instincts." Lily blinked, caught off guard. "I do not understand." "I am saying that maybe that accidental message was not entirely a bad thing," he continued. "It reminded me that we are real people, not just job titles and responsibilities. And I would like to change that, if you are comfortable with it." "Change what exactly?" Lily asked, her pulse quickening. Jackson leaned back in his chair. genuine smile crossing his face for the first time since she had met him. I would like us to be friends, Lily. Real colleagues who actually know each other. Would you have lunch with me tomorrow? Not as boss and employee, but as two people getting to know each other. The invitation hung in the air between them, loaded with possibility. Lily thought about the photo, about his compliment that morning, about the way her heart raced when he was near. She knew accepting his invitation might complicate things, but looking into his warm eyes, seeing the vulnerability in his usually guarded expression, she found herself nodding. I would like that, she said softly. The smile Jackson gave her transformed his entire face, revealing a warmth and charm she had never seen before. As Lily left his office and returned to her desk, she realized that one embarrassing mistake might have just opened a door she had not even known existed, and stepping through it, despite the risks and complications, suddenly seemed like the most natural thing in the world. The lunch that changed everything, Tuesday, arrived with a nervous energy that Lily could not shake. She changed her outfit 3 times before settling on a casual, burgundy dress that struck the right balance between professional and approachable. When Jackson appeared at her desk at noon, he had traded his usual suit jacket for a more relaxed look, dark jeans, and a fitted navy Henley that somehow made him even more attractive. Ready? He asked, and Lily noticed he seemed slightly nervous too, which was oddly reassuring. They walked to a small Italian bistro 2 blocks from the office. The restaurant had exposed brick walls, warm lighting, and the comforting smell of fresh bread and tomato sauce. Jackson held the door open for her, a simple gesture that made her stomach flutter. Once seated at a corner table, unexpected awkwardness settled between them. For people who communicated easily about work projects, starting a personal conversation felt strangely difficult. Jackson broke the silence first. So, tell me something about yourself that has nothing to do with marketing campaigns or client presentations. Lily smiled, relaxing slightly. Well, I moved to Austin 4 years ago from a tiny town in Oklahoma. Population 2,000. Coming here felt like landing on another planet. Culture shock. Jackson asked, genuine interest in his eyes. Massive culture shock, Lily laughed. But the good kind. Back home, everyone knew everything about everyone. Here, I could be whoever I wanted to be. It was terrifying and liberating at the same time. Jackson nodded thoughtfully. I understand that feeling. I grew up in a small town in Montana. When I moved to New York for my first job, I felt the same way, like I could finally breathe. Wait, Montana? Lily said, surprised. You seem so naturally urban and sophisticated, he laughed, a rich sound that made her smile. That is the carefully constructed image. But deep down, I am still the kid who spent summers fishing in mountain streams and fixing fences on my grandfather's ranch. This revelation fascinated Lily. Why did you leave New York to come to Austin? Jackson's expression grew more serious. Burnout, honestly. The New York advertising world is ruthless. I was working 80-hour weeks, living on coffee and ambition. I won awards, made great money, but I realized I was miserable. When Tequave approached me, I saw it as a chance to reset. Smaller scale, more meaningful work, better quality of life. And has it been? Lily asked. Better, I mean? He looked at her intently. It is getting better every day. It's the way he said it, the way his eyes held hers, made Lily's heart race. There was an implication in those words that had nothing to do with work satisfaction. Discovering common ground as lunch continued. Conversation flowed more naturally. They discovered they both loved classic movies, particularly film noir from the 1940s. Jackson confessed his secret. His dream was to write a screenplay someday. Lily shared her passion for vintage book collecting, especially first editions of mystery novels. I have this fantasy of opening a bookstore cafe when I retire, Lily admitted. Somewhere cozy where people can read and talk about stories over good coffee. That sounds perfect, Jackson said. I would be your first regular customer. The image of Jackson sitting in her imaginary bookstore, reading by a window, felt dangerously appealing. When they returned to the office, Lily felt as though something fundamental had shifted. Jackson was no longer just her intimidatingly talented boss. He was a real person with dreams and vulnerabilities. Someone she genuinely liked and wanted to know better. Over the following weeks, their lunch meetings became routine. Sometimes they discussed work, but more often they talked about everything else. Childhood memories, favorite books, embarrassing stories, hopes for the future. Lily learned that Jackson played guitar, that he volunteered at an animal shelter on weekends, that he had a younger sister he was incredibly protective of. The new hire everything was progressing naturally until Trevor Matthews joined the marketing team in early June. Trevor was 26, charming, athletic, and immediately friendly with everyone. He had sandy blonde hair, an easy smile, and the confidence of someone who had never been rejected. From his first day, Trevor showed obvious interest in Lily. He found reasons to stop by her desk, asked her questions he could have easily answered himself, and invited her to lunch repeatedly. Lily politely declined his invitations, but Trevor was persistent. "Come on, Lily," Trevor said one afternoon, leaning against her desk. "Just one lunch. I am new in town and could use a friendly face to show me around." "I appreciate the offer, Trevor, but I usually eat at my desk," Lily replied, focusing on her computer screen. "That is no way to live," Trevor insisted. "All work and no play makes Lily a dull girl." "How about coffee then? Just as friends?" Before Lily could respond, Jackson's voice cut through the conversation like ice. "Matthews, do you have the social media analytics I requested this morning?" Trevor straightened immediately. "Not yet, Mr. Reed. I was just about to compile them. And I suggest you prioritize that over socializing," Jackson said, his tone professional, but unmistakably cold. "We have a client call in 2 hours, and I need those numbers." "Right away, sir," Trevor said, quickly retreating to his desk after he left. Jackson looked at Lily. His jaw was tight, and she could see tension in his shoulders. "Was he bothering you?" Jackson asked, his voice softer now. "No, just being friendly," Lily said, though she appreciated Jackson's intervention. "If he makes you uncomfortable, let me know," Jackson said. "Friendly is fine. Pushy is not." The protective edge in his voice sent warmth through Lily's chest. Was Jackson jealous? Lake Travis retreating late June. DeQuave organized a company retreat at a lakeside resort on Lake Travis about an hour from Austin. The 2-day event was designed to boost team morale and encourage creative collaboration. Employees would participate in team-building activities during the day and enjoy a casual dinner and bonfire at night. Lily had mixed feelings about the retreat. On one hand, she looked forward to spending time with coworkers outside the office. On the other hand, she was hyper-aware that she would be seeing Jackson in casual settings, possibly even in swim attire, which felt both exciting and terrifying given their history. The resort was beautiful, with cabin-style accommodations scattered among oak trees, a private beach area, and stunning views of the lake. Lily shared a cabin with Rachel and 2 other women from the design team. The first afternoon included kayaking and paddleboard activities. Lily changed into athletic shorts and a tank top, then headed down to the beach area. She spotted Jackson immediately. He wore board shorts and a gray t-shirt that revealed the athletic build he usually kept hidden under business attire. His hair was slightly messy from the breeze, and he looked more relaxed than she had ever seen him. Their eyes met across the beach, and Jackson smiled, walking over. "Ready to fall into the lake multiple times?" he asked, gesturing toward the paddleboards. "Is that encouragement or a prediction?" Lily laughed. "Both," Jackson admitted. "I tried paddleboarding once in New York and spent more time in the water than on the board. Ended up partnering for the kayaking activity." As they paddled together across the calm lake water, finding their rhythm, Lily felt a comfortable closeness developing. They talked and laughed, and when they accidentally tipped the kayak and both tumbled into the water, they came up laughing like kids. "So much for staying dry," Lily said. Pushing wet hair from her face, Jackson was close to her in the water, treading easily. Droplets clung to his eyelashes and his smile was unguarded and genuine. "Worth it," he said, his voice low. And Lily knew he meant more than just the kayaking bonfire confessions that evening. The company gathered around a large bonfire on the beach. Someone had brought a guitar, and people took turns singing or telling stories. The atmosphere was relaxed and warm, the fire crackling and stars beginning to appear overhead. Lily sat on a log, wrapped in a sweatshirt as the temperature dropped. Jackson appeared beside her, holding 2 mugs. "Hot chocolate," he said, handing her one. "Figured you might be cold." "Thank you," Lily said, grateful for both the warmth and his thoughtfulness. They sat together in comfortable silence for a while, watching the flames dance and listening to coworkers chat and laugh around them. "Can I ask you something?" Jackson said eventually. "Of course." "That photo you sent by accident," he began, and Lily felt her face warm despite the cool evening air. "You said it was meant for your friend Mia. Were you asking for her opinion?" "Yes," Lily admitted. "We are planning a trip to Cancun, and I wanted to know if the swimsuit was appropriate." Lily's breath caught. "What do you mean?" Jackson turned to face her, the firelight reflecting in his eyes. "I mean, that photo made me realize I had been lying to myself. I told myself I was just impressed by your work ethic and creativity. But the truth is, I have been attracted to you since the day we met. I just would not admit it because you work for me, and that complicates everything." The honesty in his words left Lily momentarily speechless. Around them, the party continued, but it felt like they existed in their own private bubble. "Jackson," she said softly, "I need to tell you something too. I did not just accidentally send you that photo." He looked at her questioningly. "I mean, it was an accident," Lily clarified quickly. "But after it happened, after your kind response, part of me wondered what would have happened if it had not been an accident. If I had been brave enough to let you see that side of me on purpose, and what would have happened?" Jackson asked, moving slightly closer. "I think we would have ended up exactly where we are now," Lily whispered. "Sitting here finally being honest about what we feel." Jackson reached out and gently tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, his fingers lingering against her cheek. "And what do you feel, Lily?" "Terrified," she admitted, "but also more alive than I have felt in years." "You make me want to take risks, Jackson. You make me want to be brave. You're the bravest person I know," he said. "Do you have any idea how rare it is to find someone who is brilliant, kind, funny, and genuine? Someone who makes you want to be better? You do that for me, Lily? Every single day?" The moment stretched between them, filled with possibility and tension. Around them, someone started playing guitar, and the soft melody mixed with the crackling fire and distant sound of water lapping at the shore. "This complicates everything," Lily said, though she made no move to pull away from his touch. "I know," Jackson agreed. "But some complications are worth it. You are worth it." The storm before Lily could respond, the sky suddenly opened up. Rain began falling in heavy sheets, sending everyone scrambling for shelter. Jackson grabbed Lily's hand, and they ran together toward the nearest cabin. Laughing as they got drenched, they burst through the door of what turned out to be Jackson's cabin. Breathless and soaking wet, thunder rumbled overhead and rain pounded against the windows. "So much for a romantic moment," Lily said, wringing water from her hair. Jackson grabbed towels from the bathroom and handed her one. "I do not know. This feels pretty romantic to me." They were standing close in the small cabin, the storm raging outside, creating an intimate cocoon. Lily could feel the electricity between them, the pull that had been building for months. "Jackson," she whispered, "if we cross this line, everything changes." "I know," he said, stepping closer. "But I am tired of pretending I do not want this. I am tired of professional distance and careful boundaries. I am tired of not being able to tell you how incredible you are." "What are you saying?" Jackson took her face gently in his hands. "I am saying that I am falling for you, Lily Harper, and I do not care if it is complicated or unprofessional or risky. Some things are worth the risk." Lily felt tears mix with the rain on her face. "I am falling for you too. I have been for weeks." The kiss, when it finally came, was everything Lily had imagined and more. Gentle at first, then deeper, filled with months of denied longing and new promise. Jackson pulled her close, and Lily melted into him, feeling like she had finally come home. When they separated, both were breathing hard, foreheads pressed together. "What happens now?" Lily asked. Now Jackson said, "We figure it out together. We will be careful at work, discreet until we know where this is going. But I am not walking away from this. I am not walking away from you." They spent the rest of the storm talking, kissing, making plans. By the time the rain stopped and the first light of dawn began to break, they had crossed a threshold neither could uncross. And neither wanted to. Monday morning revelations. The Monday after the Lake Travis retreat felt different. Lily arrived at the office early, her stomach a knot of anticipation and nerves. She and Jackson had agreed to keep their relationship private initially, at least until they figured out exactly what they were to each other and how to navigate the workplace complications. But keeping secrets proved harder than expected. Lily found herself hyper-aware of Jackson's every movement. When he walked past her desk and their eyes met, she had to fight the urge to smile too widely. When he called her into his office to discuss a project, being alone with him behind closed doors felt charged with new meaning. "We need to be more careful," Jackson murmured during one of those private moments, though his hand lingered on hers as he passed her a document. "Rachel was giving us strange looks during the morning meeting. Can you blame her?" Lily whispered back. "You smiled at me. Twice. That is practically a public declaration from you."
Jackson
Laughed softly. "Fair point. I will work on my poker face." But he did not work on it very well. Over the next 2 weeks, their colleagues definitely noticed something had changed. Rachel cornered Lily in the break room one afternoon with a knowing smile. "Okay, spill," Rachel demanded, pouring herself coffee. "What happened at the retreat?" "Nothing happened," Lily said, but her face betrayed her. "Lily Harper, you are a terrible liar," Rachel said. "You and Jackson have been exchanging looks that could melt steel." Trevor noticed too. "He told me yesterday that he is officially giving up on asking you out because, and I quote, she is clearly into the boss." Lily felt her face flush. "It is complicated." "Complicated as in, you are dating your boss?" Rachel asked, then quickly added, "Which I think is wonderful, by the way. You two are perfect for each other. Everyone has noticed the chemistry." "Everyone?" Lily asked, alarmed. "Everyone with eyes," Rachel confirmed. "But do not worry. People are happy for you. Jackson has been different since you started having lunch together. Less robot, more human. It is a good look on him." The late-night project in mid-July. Teakwave landed their biggest client yet, a national retail chain looking to completely rebrand their image. The project was massive, with a tight deadline and high stakes. Jackson assembled a core team to handle it, including Lily, Rachel, and 2 others from the creative department. The work required long hours. Most of the team stayed late several nights a week, ordering takeout and collaborating until the office lights were the only ones still on in the building. One Thursday evening, around 10 p.m., Jackson dismissed the rest of the team, but asked Lily to stay to finalize some presentation details. Once they were alone, the pretense of work faded quickly. "Come here," Jackson said, rolling his chair back from his desk. Lily walked over, and he pulled her gently onto his lap. "I have barely seen you all week outside of work mode," he murmured against her hair. "I miss you." "I am right here," Lily said, wrapping her arms around his neck. "Do you know what I mean? I miss having you to myself. Having real conversations. Kissing you without worrying about who might walk in." Lily pulled back to look at him. "Are you having second thoughts about keeping this private?" "No," Jackson said quickly. "I just hate that we have to hide something that makes me this happy. But I also know we are doing the right thing. We need to establish this relationship on solid ground before we deal with workplace politics." "How long do you think we can keep it secret?" Lily asked. Jackson smiled ruefully. "Based on Rachel's interrogation of you, not much longer. But let's get through this major project first. Then we can figure out how to go public properly." They spent another hour actually working on the presentation, stealing kisses between slides, and discussing strategy. Around midnight, Jackson insisted on driving Lily home, even though she had her own car. "Leave it here," he said. "I will bring you back in the morning." "I am not letting you drive this late when you are exhausted." The gesture touched Lily deeply. In the car, she dozed against his shoulder while he drove through Austin's quiet streets. When they reached her apartment building, Jackson walked her to her door. "This is not exactly discreet," Lily pointed out. "What if someone from work lives in my building? Then they will see a gentleman making sure a colleague gets home safely," Jackson said. But he kissed her goodnight anyway. A long, sweet kiss that made Lily's knees weak. The gallery opening late July brought an unexpected invitation. One of Austin's prominent art galleries was hosting an opening for a new exhibition, and TechWave received corporate tickets as a client of the gallery owner. Jackson, as creative director, was expected to attend. He could bring a guest. "Come with me," Jackson said during one of their private moments in his office. "Not as my employee, as my date? Is that wise?" Lily asked, though her heart leaped at the invitation. "Probably not," Jackson admitted. "But I want one evening where we do not have to hide. Where I can introduce you as the woman I am dating, not my marketing coordinator. The event is mostly gallery people and art collectors. Very few TechWave employees will be there," Lily agreed, excitement overriding her nervousness. The gallery opening was on a Saturday evening. Lily spent hours getting ready, finally settling on a sleek emerald dress that hugged her curves and made her feel confident and beautiful. She left her hair down in loose waves and wore minimal jewelry, wanting to look elegant but not overdone. When Jackson picked her up, the look on his face made all the preparation worthwhile. "You are stunning," he said, unable to take his eyes off her. "Absolutely stunning." Jackson looked incredible too, in a perfectly tailored charcoal suit with a dark green tie that complemented her dress. They made a striking couple. The gallery was downtown, in a converted warehouse with soaring ceilings and white walls displaying contemporary art. Soft music played, and waiters circulated with champagne and hors d'oeuvres. The crowd was eclectic and artistic, exactly the kind of scene where Lily and Jackson could blend in as just another couple. Jackson kept his hand on the small of Lily's back as they moved through the exhibit, a possessive but gentle gesture that made her feel cherished. They discussed the artwork, their opinions sometimes aligning, sometimes delightfully different. Jackson introduced her to several people as Lily, my girlfriend, and each time he said it, Lily felt a thrill of happiness. "This feels right," Lily whispered during a quiet moment as they stood before a large abstract painting. "Being here with you like this feels perfect," Jackson agreed, his arm sliding around her waist. "This is how I want it to be all the time. No hiding, no pretending. We are just colleagues." They were so absorbed in each other that they did not notice Trevor Matthews until he was standing right in front of them. "Mr. Reed." "Lily," Trevor said, surprise evident on his face. "I did not expect to see anyone from work here." Jackson recovered smoothly, not removing his arm from around Lily. "Ow, Trevor. I did not know you were interested in contemporary art." "My sister dragged me here," Trevor admitted, his eyes moving between Jackson and Lily with obvious understanding. "She is an artist. But I can see I am interrupting. I will let you to get back to your evening." The knowing look he gave them made it clear the secret was out, at least as far as Trevor was concerned. After he left, Lily looked up at Jackson worriedly. "That complicates things." "Maybe," Jackson said, "or maybe it is time to stop hiding. This project is wrapping up next week. We have been together for over a month now. I know what I want, Lily. I want you, and I want everyone to know it." "You are sure?" Lily asked. "The workplace gossip will be intense." Jackson turned to face her fully, taking both her hands. "I've never been more sure of anything. Yes, there will be gossip. Yes, it will be uncomfortable for a while. But you know what would be worse? Continuing to hide how I feel about you. Pretending you were just another employee when you are so much more." Lily felt tears prick her eyes. "What are you saying?" "I am saying I love you, Lily Harper," Jackson said, his voice clear and certain. "I am completely in love with you, and I do not want to hide that anymore." The words hit Lily with the force of a revelation. "I love you too," she whispered. "So much it scares me." Jackson kissed her then, right there in the middle of the gallery, not caring who saw. It was a declaration, a promise, a beginning all at once. Going public the following Monday, Jackson called a department meeting. The entire marketing and creative team gathered in the main conference room, curiosity evident on every face. Jackson stood at the front of the room, professional, but with a warmth in his expression that people had rarely seen before. Thank you all for your hard work on the Retail Partners project, he began. We successfully pitched to the client on Friday, and I am pleased to announce they have signed with us. This is a major win for TechWave and for this team. Applause and excited chatter filled the room. Jackson waited for it to die down before continuing. There is one more piece of business I need to address, and I am choosing to do so directly and honestly. As many of you may have noticed or suspected, Lily Harper and I are in a relationship. The room went silent, all eyes turning to where Lily sat, her face flushing, but her head held high. I want to be completely transparent about this, Jackson continued. Lily and I began dating several weeks ago. I've disclosed this relationship to HR and senior management. They have reviewed the situation and have no ethical concerns. Given that our relationship developed naturally and was not initiated in a way that abused my position of authority, he paused, his eyes finding Lily's across the room. However, to ensure there are no conflicts of interest or perceptions of favoritism, Lily will be transitioning to work directly under our VP of Marketing, reporting to Amanda Green instead of me. This change maintains her current role and responsibilities while removing any direct supervisory relationship between us. Rachel started clapping, and others quickly joined in. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with genuine smiles and supportive looks directed at both of them. After the meeting, colleagues approached Lily with congratulations and good-natured, teasing about how they had suspected all along. Finally, Rachel said, hugging Lily, I was wondering how long you two would keep pretending. You are perfect together. Even Trevor approached with genuine warmth. I get it now, he said. The way you looked at him, even when you were turning me down, you were already in love. I respect that. 6 months later, December arrived with unseasonable warmth in Austin. Lily sat on Jackson's apartment balcony watching the city lights twinkle below. They had spent the day at a holiday market, drinking hot cider and shopping for gifts. Now they were back at his place, comfortable in sweatpants and enjoying the quiet evening. Jackson joined her on the balcony, wrapping a blanket around both of them as he settled beside her. I have been thinking about something, he said, taking her hand. Dangerous habit, Lily teased. Remember how we started? That accidental photo? Lily groaned. How could I forget? Most embarrassing moment of my life, but also the best mistake you ever made. Jackson asked, smiling. Definitely the best mistake, Lily agreed, leaning into him. Though I still do not understand what made me click your name instead of Mia's. I have a theory about that, Jackson said. Maybe part of you wanted to send it to me. Maybe subconsciously, you were looking for a way to break through those professional walls we had built. Lily considered this. You really think so? I think the universe conspired to bring us together, Jackson said. And I think you are the bravest, most amazing woman I have ever met. Which is why I have something to ask you. He shifted, reaching into his pocket and pulling out a small velvet box. Lily's heart stopped. Jackson, she whispered. Let me say this first, he said, opening the box to reveal a simple but stunning diamond ring. 6 months ago, you accidentally sent me a photo that changed my life. Not because of what I saw, but because it made me see you. Really see you? And every day since then, I have fallen more in love with you. Tears were streaming down Lily's face now. You make me laugh. You challenge me. You make me want to be better. And I cannot imagine my future without you in it. So, Lily Harper, will you marry me? Yes, Lily sobbed, launching herself into his arms. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. Jackson slipped the ring onto her finger, then kissed her with all the love and promise of their future together. Later, as they sat wrapped in the blanket, admiring how the ring sparkled in the city lights, Lily pulled out her phone. What are you doing? Jackson asked. Sending Mia that photo, Lily said with a mischievous smile. You know the one I meant to send her 6 months ago? Better late than never, Jackson laughed, the rich sound filling the night air. Make sure you send it to the right person this time. Oh, I think I sent it to exactly the right person the first time, Lily said, kissing him softly. The universe knew what it was doing. As they sat together on that balcony, engaged and blissfully happy, Lily reflected on the journey that had brought them here. One accidental message, One moment of mortification had transformed into the greatest love story of her life. Sometimes the best things in life came from the most unexpected mistakes. And sometimes, the person you least expected to fall for turned out to be exactly who you needed all along. The Austin night wrapped around them like a promise, full of possibility and the sweet certainty that whatever came next, they would face it together.